Hey Libra, Capricorn season reading. It's the life after death. It's what needs to be buried. Everyone seems to be getting hit in the face with something very specific. Before we get into it, all information to work with me is below, one-on-one, as well as the second part / extended to this reading is also there. Something that is a cycle that may have been hidden to you up until recently. It's very real that you are maybe really tired. Number one, your mind might be very tired as well. If you feel like you're not able to keep up with certain things, you may realize that those are things not to keep up with, right? Like the most important things are what you need to do just on a day-to-day, like what's actually really important to you on a day-to-day, Libra. And that's what I recommend right now. Why? Well, Capricorn is like back to the basics, back to not like the bare minimum, but just the basics of it all, like what's absolutely necessary. And you're finding that there are patterns, 10 of swords upside down, patterns being released, and this isn't something that you've backed yourself into a corner about, or you have to face this now because it's like so many examples are here in your face. It's more of like, okay, before I feel this happening, and I think a lot of you even could feel a little like halted because you feel, and you can feel, either can feel that there's something coming, and you want to make sure you're prepared. And I think just going through this with yourself will prepare you better than really anything else, I don't think you can actually prepare for this specifically, and I don't think any of us can. So, just not agreeing with me today. When your hair's at that point, I gotta do something with it. So, you may be wondering, okay, well, I'm in this place where I feel it feels very comfortable, and I'm used to these maybe dramatic changes in order to inspire me and move me forward. And you're like, maybe you're an artist, or maybe you're someone needs to be provoked in thought, or provoked in order to, or really pushed in order to, do something. And now I think it's about shifting that, because that's what's going to ultimately overcome all of these things of maybe needing to keep up with things. Well, newsflash, if you feel like you need to keep up with something and you're not, it's probably not important to you right now, because whatever's really important, like Capricorn's like getting back to the basics and getting really efficient with it. And what could be stopping your efficiency is this part of you that needs to get control where you can. We're in a cardinal season. Of course you want some kind of control, but you may be looking in the wrong place. This is about you and no one else. This is about what, I wrote something down for everybody. Yeah. Where can you gain some dominance in your life? Like creative dominance. And I think some of you have been wondering for a while and things have been good, but you're kind of like, there's something still kind of stuck. Well, it's okay to have healthy artistic habits. It's okay not to have to go through these dramatic upheavals or changes in order to motivate or inspire yourself. The scales don't have to be like this in order for you to make a change. And you can consistently stay here, because nothing's ever still, as we know. Slow moving energy is not still. And you're maybe wavering back and forth about something, and it's really important to you. The biggest thing is about your energy. You don't want your energy to decline, right? You want it to be risen. If you're especially if you're wanting to do something new. Do I recommend that? Not really at this moment, but you know, do whatever you want. I'm only here to read the cards. There might be people demanding of your time and energy around you in a way that can maybe take you away from being too overly self-involved. Is it okay to be self-involved? Yes. Actually, I think it's deeply important. There's nothing wrong with it. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that, you know, sometimes I'm like, I need to talk to Libra. Like, what is going on? Sometimes it's about, and we feel this way every like few times a year, and I think I'm sensing it's like really when it's in maybe cardinal seasons. This is the way I can feel, so I'm just going to relate to you. You want control over certain things, but your mind has other plans. It wants you to go on all these mental journeys. What I'm gathering from this, with Mercury being in retrograde in an earth sign, is that there's a mental journey you need to go on, and maybe even to let go of some things. Meditation's kind of at the forefront, but there's some people here. Who are these people? Won't get into it. You may be taking a look at what your life has looked like. You may be having moments of where you're experiencing what it's like to gain that power back. And we talk about this a couple times a year, and I think this is about time where we need to give a refresher on where your power comes from and how your power lies within yourself, and being able to take accountability, right? Being able to do yourself justice and speak up for yourself and talk about the things that you put your own self through in order to, I don't know, not have what you could. This month isn't about things coming to a close. No. It's more so about giving you this different perspective, you know, like the Capricorn perspective. If you want something done, like, there's a power within you that you have somewhat of control over, and it's about taking it back. If there's anyone on your mind or tapping into your energy, if you need to do any energetical practices or spiritual practices like baths, maybe it's just like literally talking to yourself and doing the things you need to do to keep your energy clean, to keep your thoughts clean, to keep your emotions, to keep your movements, like doing some kind of movement every day, because you'll realize where you've kept yourself in certain aspects of your life. It's not even holding it back. It's like you just wouldn't let yourself experience specific things because it felt so out of reach, you know, because it doesn't always feel like you have what you envision. The important thing here is to remember that you're speaking to a part of you that is not yet, you're getting over the hump of healing it. So it's important to be extremely strong, like a father, right? And if you haven't had the best example of that, or have some resistance towards it, just you know that you can start small. That this season and this Capricorn energy just really cares about you and wants you to know that going through this is only going to make you stronger and more capable, and there's a strength developed in this aspect of your life that it feels okay to go there, that it feels okay to take a look and run into this place over and over again, run into this. It's almost like running into like a crush over and over again, where you're just like, oh my God, like, what if they see me? What if we look at each other? Ooh, what if we talk? What if we flirt? You know what I mean? So it's almost like if you can do that instead of feeling like you need to protect or hide yourself, you know, just because you don't, or you're not being seen in the best light. That doesn't mean you get to hide. That doesn't mean you don't have to explain certain things. No. That just means there's more trust to develop within yourself in this certain space you're in, because it's like a preview. I know that you're, you know, sometimes like this is probably one of the most revealing readings, because it's nothing about this reading is like a positive, you know. We have a lot of swords here. We have a lot of, you know, we have some wands here. There's something about a lack of pentacles saying you have yet to reveal what you need for yourself moving forward. And you need more strength, and you need to be able to witness this in someone in your life. And there could be this figure in your life that you've maybe looked at as someone you can not only, it's not about relating to them, it's more about seeing what you want and you seeing it from the outside. But then when you experience it, it can feel a little more uncomfortable. And letting yourself move through this discomfort is actually the more healing thing. It's speaking directly. So when we look at the cards, I'll show you, like, it's speaking directly to this wounded part of you. And this wounded part of you is then, it's like, hey, I'm just using the protection you gave me. And then you're like, and if you can visualize this, it's like, but we no longer need that. There's a different kind of love here now. There's a different boundary here now. There's a different way of clearing this now. You know, it's almost like, this can sound violent, but this is how far it can go. It's almost like you seeing someone very afraid of letting down their, you know, weapon that they have in their hand, or their words, right? Right? And it's almost like Capricorn season's like, yo, it's okay. And then you have like this nervous breakdown. And again, now we're circling back to like, oh, it's no more dramatic moments, but the nerves can also be, if you incorporate it healthily, it's like, you know, if you're doing something creative, it's letting yourself getting that creative exhaustion, but then, you know, picking it up again the next day or the day after, and like remaining with it. It's like not just working out and feeling yourself shake that one time, but sticking with it after that one time, right? Feeling it again and again and again as Capricorn season, shifting and shifting and shifting and carving into this rock that is our body, that is our habits, that ultimately have defined us for a very long time. So you are finally in a space where these things can resurface, and you can actually really see and hear the work in yourself. You, by the end of the month, will probably feel more alive than you have been. Even more, you know, another layer, because you're no longer willing to settle for any kind of crumb. But there's a part of you that also knows and understands that you must remember to, even in moments where you know you are being seen for whatever it is that you've accomplished or done, or, you know, maybe it's just the way you're glowing that day. Or it doesn't matter, that you take everything graciously. That was really random. That's never happened before. as far as I remember. That there's this graciousness that has overcome you, even in some uncomfortable situations. And you're still able to wield that sword in that way. And I think if moving forward you can remember anything, remember that that's a gift. And it's the wise thing about you specifically. Yeah, there's a lot to deal with this month, but kind of like my day today, just take everything as it comes. Like, do this and then do that and then do this, and just throughout the day, it's all right, also it's like Pilates. Like, I love Pilates because you stretch as you go. Like, you do all this work and then you stretch it out and it feels so good. And it doesn't mean you're not going to be sore, but it prevents the soreness that I feel doing any other thing. And I've done a lot of different kinds of workouts in my life, and Pilates is by far, and yoga, but Pilates is by far the most effective for me. So just like that in your day, it's like, do a little bit of this, and then maybe, give yourself the breaks as you go. Give yourself that attention that you need, like I'm giving you guys right now. We'll get more of that into the second part, and in being able to speak from that place and act from that place for yourself. We'll begin to dissipate any other, especially another person's reaction about you. There's certain people that have been questioning, but they have no idea. But this month they'll see. We'll get more into that too, into the next part. All right, Libra, I know it's uneasy, but just be confident in yourself. Be confident in your work. Just keep it moving. That's it.